Today is day 3 of the 5-day journey to wellness. So we're more than halfway through, so well done for sticking with it. Now for today's session, you might like to use a belt or a strap. Those who've done my classes before know that any sort of belt will do. This is an old canvas belt with the buckle removed. You could use a dressing gown belt or anything. And if you can't find anything, don't worry, you can manage without it. It's just useful for a few of the poses a bit later on. So I'll put it aside for now. We're going to start off just sitting as we normally do with a nice straight spine, cross-legged or any way that feels comfortable. Let's just close our eyes here and take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose, just letting ourselves settle down into this class. Just let this be your time for yourself. So feeling the breath just moving gently in and out the nostrils. Notice how it feels a little cooler on the inhale and slightly warmed on the exhale. And let your chin drop to your chest, open your eyes and slowly move the head around in nice big circles, keeping the breathing nice and deep and long. And then reverse. And then some shoulder shrugs. On an inhale, bring the head and shoulders up and back. Exhale, down and forwards again. Inhaling, up and back. Exhale, down and forwards. This time bring your arms in as well. Reach up and exhale down. Now again, reach up, inhale. As you exhale, take your left hand down to the side. Inhale, reach even higher with your right arm. And exhale, lean over to your left and hold it here for a few breaths. Planting that right hip into the mat. Really reach up through those top fingers. And then come back up. Reach, inhale. Here, exhale, take your right arm down. Inhale, reach higher. And exhale, lean over to the right and stay here for a few breaths. Just stretching out. Feel the stretch all the way down the left side of the body, and that hip is planted down firmly into the mat. And then come back up with both arms. Inhale and exhale down. We'll come over now onto hands and knees, having the hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide. Now just shift your weight forward a little bit, stretching out the wrists here. And then back a bit. And then again come forward. And then just back to neutral. Now hollowing out the spine. Look up, wolf pose, like a wolf howling at the moon. And exhale into cat curl. That belly button presses up into the spine. Inhale, looking up for wolf. Exhale into cat curl. Again, inhale, look up. Exhale, cat curl. And bring the spine back to neutral. Now stretch out your left arm and your right leg. Nice straight arm, straight leg behind you. And then bend that left elbow, bring it in to touch the right knee. And stretch yourself back out. We'll do that 2 more times. So knee to elbow. Stretch it out. And again, bring it in. Stretch it out. Hold it here. And then bring the left hand down and tap with your right foot to the mat. Come around into side plank. So you want to push the hips forward so that your body is all in a straight line. Look up past your top fingers to the ceiling if you can, working on balance. And now for a real challenge, see if you can lift that leg up behind you. Hold it here. And then if you want to, see if you can grab hold of the top foot and lift it up as well. This is quite a tricky balance. And stretch yourself back out, front and back. Lower the leg, come back around into hands and knees, and we're going to do that all again on the other side. So this time you want to bring out your right arm and left leg. So spinal balancing on the other side. The gaze is out over the front fingers. And then bend your elbow, bring it in, touch your left knee and stretch out again. And we'll do that 2 more times. So elbow to knee, stretch it out, and again, elbow to knee and stretch out nice and long. Okay, bring this right hand down and your left foot touches the mat. Bring your left hand up to the ceiling and push your hips in line with the body here. Find that balance. See if you can take the back leg up. Hold it here. And for more of a challenge, you could try and grab the foot and see how high you can lift it up. Holding it here. And then come back again into this balance. Then lower the leg and come back onto hands and knees. Press the hips back towards the heels. Walk your hands out in front and stretch yourself out nice and long in child's pose. Bring yourself forward now. Tuck your toes under and press up for downward facing dog. Walk your feet a little closer towards your hands so you can press back into the pose, and you might like to pedal your feet, pressing one heel and the other gently down towards the mat. And then press both heels down. Push back with the hips. Arms as straight as they can go. And just let your head relax down. And breathe. And then bend your knees, walk your feet all the way up to your hands. And very slowly roll yourself up to standing, one vertebra at a time. So tailbones tucked under, roll up, tummy in, roll the shoulders up, back and down, and hands into that namaste at the heart center. Now reach your arms out and up overhead, lengthening. So maybe you want to drop into a little bit of a back bend here. And then come forwards, arms out to the sides, come to a flat back. And then let yourself round over and let your hands come to wherever they get to, somewhere between the knees and the feet. And then press into your fingertips, look up so your hands can be on the shins here, unless you're flexible enough to get them onto the floor with the legs straight here. So lengthening out, trying to get a flat back. And then bend your knees until you get your hands down, and then step yourself back one leg at a time into plank. Now check that plank, that it's not looking like a downward facing dog. So you want the hips in line with the body here, working on core strength. Now you have your option of coming to your knees here, or else staying up on your legs and then lowering yourself down very slowly. Bend the elbows, keep close to the body, so you're working on your body strength as you come down. The chest drops down first, then bring the legs and feet flat and press yourself up to cobra. So it might be a baby cobra here, it might be higher. Come as high as you can come without lifting the hips off the mat. So shoulders press back and down, lift up through the chin, and then look behind one way towards your feet and around the other way. And back to the center, and then tuck the toes under, press the hips back again, and walk your feet a little closer for downward facing dog. Again, press into the pose, the head relaxes. And take a few breaths here. Don't forget, child's pose is a great pose to come into anytime you feel you want to take a break. So stay here in down dog or come into child pose for a couple of breaths. Now if you're in child's pose, come back up into downward facing dog. We're going to come forward, so walk little steps or big step up to your hands. Straighten the legs and look up here, lengthening out so hands can be on the floor or on your shins. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Imagine you're going to bring the crown of your head down towards your feet. Shift the weight forward a little bit towards the front of the feet. So you almost feel like you're going to topple forward, but not quite. And then come up with a flat back. Arms reach out. Bring them up overhead, lengthen. If you want to, you can dip it back into a little bit of back bend here. And then come back into Namaste. Well done. Pressing the feet into the mat, nice long body. Reach the arms again out and up, overhead, palms touch. And then exhale, come again to a flat back. Hold it here. And then let yourself round down so the legs are straight. You don't have to be coming down so far. Come up on the tips of your fingers. Hands can be on the shins or on the legs or on your mat. Bend your knees until your hands are flat and walk your feet back. Again, big step, one at a time, into plank pose. Hold it here and breathe. And then come to your knees if you like, or else come down in a straight line, very slowly, all the way down to the mat. Legs come flat. Press up, cobra pose. Lifting the chest towards the ceiling. Enjoying that opening of the chest. Stretching out the back. And then tuck the toes under. Press back again to downward facing dog. Walk your feet in a little bit. And press into the pose. From here now, you're going to step your left foot forward. Remember we talked about this in one of the earlier sessions, how you can shift your weight forward, take your leg a little bit to the side, and you can even cheat by lifting the wrist a tiny bit on one hand if you want to. So step your foot up between your hands, and if it doesn't quite get there, you can grab the foot, bring it forward. Bring the back heel down, and keep your hips facing towards the front knee bent, and bring yourself up into warrior one pose. So from the belly button to your fingertips, you're stretching up and then sink into that front leg. So the back leg is nice and strong and straight, pressing the little toe side of the foot into the mat. Inhale here, and then exhale, come down into a lunge. Hands either side of your front foot, come on your back toes and lunge forward. Now if you find your knee is over your toes, scoot that back foot back a little bit so you've got a wider stance. So stretching into this pose. And then step yourself back into plank, knees down if you want to, and lower yourself all the way to the mat. Legs come straight. Press up, cobra pose again. Enjoying this lovely stretch. And then tuck the toes under, press back, downward facing dog, and walk your feet in a little closer. And press into it. Take a breath. Now we're going to step forward with the right foot. So remember, you can shift the hip, take the leg to the side, and even lift the right wrist a tiny bit if that helps. Looking forward, big step. Back foot comes flat, so you want the heel a little bit behind the toe, about 45-degree angle. Keep this front knee bent with strength. Come up, reaching overhead, looking up. Front knee bent and back leg is straight for this warrior one pose. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, bring the hands down either side of the front foot and come onto your back toes and lunge. And again, if the knee is over the toe, take that foot back behind you a little bit further so you can really stretch forward, lifting through the chest. And then take the other foot back into plank pose again, knee down if you want, and then lower yourself to the mat. And press up, cobra pose. Breathe into it. Tuck your toes under, press back again into downward facing dog. Walking your feet a little closer towards you and press into it. Well done. Take a breath. If you want to, come down into child's pose for a moment, or else stay in downward facing dog. Listen to your body, see what feels right for you. if you're in child's pose, join us again in downward facing dog. And then see if you can take your left leg up towards the ceiling for three-legged dog, stretching long. Both legs as straight as possible. Then bend that top knee, see if you can lift it, shift the weight a little bit to the left. Find where it's a good stretch and hold. And then lower that leg down again. Shifting the weight onto your left leg, bring the right leg up for three-legged dog on the other side this time. Stretching long, straight arms, straight legs. And then bend the top knee, shift your weight a little bit over to the left. Find a good stretch and hold it. Breathe. Lower back down into downward facing dog. And then bend your knees. Walk yourself up to your hands. And now stay down in a chair pose. So you want to be sinking your hips down. Your knees, make sure they're behind your toes. And then bring the arms up overhead. Now you can stay where you are. I'm just going to come around to the front so you can see what I'm doing a bit better here. So I'm sinking down, make sure the knees are behind the toes, arms reach up, pull back, and then bring your hands down to prayer position in front of you, and see if you can hook your right elbow on the outside of the knee. So don't let your knees splay apart, and then press up into a twist, looking up. Come back to the center, and then we'll take it to the other side. So hook your left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Again, don't let your knees come apart. Press against the knee and look up. And then come back to the center. Hold it a moment. I know, I feel it too. And then slowly come all the way up to standing. Well done. Okay, let's turn around. You want a little bit of space in front of you on your mat here. Have the feet and ankles together. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Hands into Namaste. And then take a big step back with your right foot. So quite a nice wide stance. You want the back foot turned in slightly and your front foot facing the front of the mat. Bring your arms out into what I call star pose. So reaching up through the 5 points of the star. Then stretch forward. We're going to come into our triangle pose. Bringing your left hand down, grab somewhere between the knee and the ankle, and your right arm is up towards the ceiling. Rotating this hip around and look up towards the ceiling. So you're pressing with your left arm and reaching with the right. And then look down at the foot on the floor in the front. Come to aeroplane pose, stretching out the spine, nice and long. Now we're going to go quite a tricky balance. You might want to step your back foot in a little bit closer for the next one. It's the revolved triangle. So you bring your right hand now to the either somewhere down this leg or to the ankle, or if you're very flexible, maybe to the outside of this foot. And you're going to take the left arm up towards the ceiling, rotate and look up at it. So you could be here somewhere, anywhere down this leg, or with your hand on the floor, but both legs stay straight in this pose. It's quite a difficult balance. And then look back down at the foot, come back to that aeroplane pose. And we're going to come back to triangle. So bring your left hand down on the shin or the ankle, wherever you had before, and the other hand up towards the ceiling, looking up at it. Both legs are straight. These are total body poses. Now we're going to do another slightly tricky pose. It's called the half moon. If you bend the front leg down, bring your right hand onto the small of your back to start, and bring your left hand down. You can have your on your fingers or your whole hands flat on the floor. I prefer to be on my fingers for this. And shift your back leg in a little bit. Find the balance on your left leg, and you slowly take that leg up, rotating the hip, and then stay here. If you want to, you can try lifting up your right arm towards the ceiling. So half moon balance pose. And then see if you can bring your hips to face the floor again. and back into a balancing aeroplane. Bend the leg you're standing on, step back only onto your back toes, and then come up into crescent pose. Lean back into it. So notice that my heel is off the mat, so it's not the same as warrior one here. Sink into the front knee, reach up, you can lean back a tiny bit if you can, and then bring your hands either side of the front foot but a little bit in front of them here. Step yourself back into plank pose, knees down if you want to, lower yourself all the way to the mat, legs come flat, press up into cobra here. Big inhales and exhales. And then tuck your toes under, press back into downward facing dog, walking the feet a little closer towards your hands. Relax into this pose, or come to child's pose for a couple of breaths if you like. Walk your feet to your hands now, and slowly roll all the way up to standing. And hands to Namaste. So from here, take a big step back now with your left leg. Nice wide stance, front toes face the front, back leg, the toes are in slightly. Reach your arms out, front or back, and then stretch yourself forwards and bring your hand down. So again, anywhere between your knee and your ankle, and take your left arm up to the ceiling, especially bringing this top shoulder around. So reaching up and breathe here. And then look down at the front foot. Come to that aeroplane pose. So you're stretching the arms long, lengthening out through the back. And then step your back foot in a little bit closer towards you for the revolved, tricky balance pose. Bring your left hand somewhere between the knee and the ankle. Unless with straight legs you can bring your hand down on the outside. But don't bring your hand on the big toe side of the foot. So you can be here or here. Either way, rotate, look up towards the ceiling. See how far you can bring this shoulder around. It is very difficult, I know. And then look back down at the foot on the floor. Come back to aeroplane briefly, and then we're going to come back into our triangle. So hand on the leg or the ankle, wherever you had it before, the arm up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to go into that half moon. So bring your left hand onto the small of your back, bend the front knee, and bring your right hand down or come onto your fingertips. Shift the weight onto the front leg, slowly bring the back leg in, and then as you straighten the front leg, take the back leg up towards the ceiling, nice and high, opening the hip, so you're rotating the hip, and then if you can, take that left hand up towards the ceiling as well for this half moon balance. And then bring the hips parallel to the mat, and the hands come back into aeroplane. Bend the leg you're standing on, come on your back toes, so the back foot doesn't come down flat. Arms reach up, lean it back, sink into the front leg. So the back leg is strong and straight, but the heel is off the mat. Just press back into the heel. And the gaze is up, through between your fingertips, up towards the ceiling. And then come down. Bringing the hands either side of the foot, but a bit in front of it, and then step back into a nice straight plank pose. Knees come down if you want, lower yourself down to the mat, and press up into cobra pose. Well done. And then take it back into child's pose, hips back to the heels, walk your hands out in front, stretch out. And take a breath. Then walk yourself around to the right a little bit, taking the hips a bit to the left into a lovely stretch all the way down the side of the body. And walk yourself around the other way, taking the hips a bit to the right this time. Lovely stretch. bring yourself back around. Come all the way down onto your tummy now. Hands by your sides and lift up the head and the shoulders as high as you can get them. And then see if you can bring your legs up as well, as high as they'll go. Lift and lower yourself down. And we'll do that again. So take a breath here first. And then lift the upper body as high as it'll go. Hold, and then see if you can take your legs up. Now if your legs won't go up, have them working towards going up. Eyes are up towards the ceiling or as high as they'll go. And release. Well done. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press back again into child's pose. And take a breath. Well done. Ease yourself up very slowly now, all the way up to standing, and we're going to do a balance pose called the swaying palm tree. So if you bring your weight onto your right leg, bring the left foot onto the foot or on the leg, or you can grab hold of your foot, bring it up as high as you can on towards the top of the thigh, and hands come into Namaste. And take your arms up overhead. Now if you want to try the swaying palm tree bit, maybe clasp your fingers except for your index fingers, and then see if you can lean over to one side. So we're playing with our balance here. If you wobble out of the pose a few times, don't worry, just come back into it. So come up and try swaying the other way. It's quite tricky. Back to the center, and then lower your hands back down into Namaste. Find a little moment of calm here, and then release. Give your legs a shake out. Well done. And we'll do the other side. So bringing your weight onto your left leg, bring the right foot onto the foot. You can keep it here if you like, or on the leg, or higher up. And you might find one leg is different to the other, so that's totally fine. Hands into Namaste. If your leg is up here, then try and open the knee out to the side a little bit. And then take the hands up very slowly, lengthening, pull them back. And then interlock all your fingers except for your index fingers. And see if you can play with that balance. Try leaning one way. And bringing yourself back up. And leaning the other way. And back to standing. And then bring the hands slowly down to the heart. Find that little moment of calm here. And release. Well done. Now step yourself again up to the front of the mat, feet and ankles together, hands into Namaste. We're going to work our way down to the floor. So reach the arms out and up, lengthening, lean back if you want to. And then come forwards, flat back, arms out to the sides. And let yourself round down, hands to your legs or your feet or the floor with straight legs. Inhale, look up, so you can be here or here. Exhale, step yourself back into plank pose, and then lower your knees and take it back into child's pose. And then ease yourself up from this and come to sitting with your legs out in front of you. You might like to roll the yoga mat up and sit on that underneath. You have a little cushion under your hips if you want for the forward fold. Now if you have a strap, bring it around your feet. If you don't, you can hold onto your legs or your feet, whatever you can get hold of. The strap makes it a bit easier. Just lift up with your chest here as you inhale now, and as you exhale, come forward. Wherever you get to, let your head relax down. So if your legs are not as flexible, you might have a longer strap. If they're more flexible, a shorter strap, or you might just be able to hold onto your legs or your feet. Or you can even hold onto your big toes with your 2 fingers. So whichever way you're doing it, look up again for a moment, and as you exhale, see if you can lower yourself a little further into the pose. And then ease yourself up very slowly and release that. Now come to sit with your legs apart, not too wide, you don't want to be uncomfortable, and turn to face one of the legs, and if you have the strap, hook it around the foot. So facing that leg, inhale, stretch the chest nice and long. See, what I'm doing is rotating the hip here. If your hips are this way, nothing's going to happen, you're never going to get anywhere. So you want to be lifting up and have the bending going on here. Imagine you're bringing your tummy forward first, and then your chest, and then your head comes down last of all, wherever you get to, and that's totally fine. So hang on to the strap, or you can hold onto your foot for the pose. Breathe into it, and ease yourself up and turn to face the other legs. The whole body turns around, rolling the hips forward as much as you can. Bring the strap around your foot if you have a strap, or else just hold onto your legs somewhere. Stretch up with the chest as you inhale, and as you exhale, come down wherever you can get to, and just relax your head. You don't want to be forcing or pulling your head and injuring the back of your neck. On the other hand, you can have quite a good stretch, intense stretch on the legs and on the back. So wherever you get to, that's fine. If you find you've got a bit more space to move, you might want to look up for a moment, stretch forward again a bit more, and then come down into it. Just listen to your body. Breathe. And ease yourself up from the pose, and we'll do the same to the center. Now you don't need a strap for this one, so you roll the hips forward, look up, inhale, and as you exhale, walk yourself forward. Now it doesn't matter where you get to, maybe your body will be flat on the floor, or maybe you'll be up here somewhere. Once you've found that sensation of stretch, that is the perfect place for where you want to be today, where your body wants to be today. And then just accept that, relax into it, and breathe. And ease yourself up from that. Bring the legs in now with the feet together. Open up as if you were reading a book, pressing the knees out to the sides. Lift up through the chest and bring yourself forward. Again, you can walk your hands in front or hold onto the front of your feet, or press on the shins even if that works for you. So again, stretch forward with the spine nice and long, and then just let your head relax down wherever it gets to. Breathe into it. And then ease yourself up and come around. We're going to do a boat pose. So you want to be finding that place where you can lean back and all the weight is on the hips until the legs can virtually float up. Find a balance, whether you're here or you have your legs parallel to the floor perhaps, or else see how straight you can get them and hold them here. And then bend one leg. See if you can tap down the toes and bring it up, and tap down the other. We'll just do that a few more times. So working on balance, working on core strength. And then bend your knees. See if you can grab hold of your toes this time. Lean back, find the balance. Now if you roll backwards in this next one, don't worry, a lot of people do. But try and stay upright and see how straight you can get your legs. And if that wasn't hard enough, see if you can let go, keeping the legs up. Bring the hands behind you. Ow, ow, ow. Yes, I know. And then bring the legs together. Stretch them nice and long. And bend them. Well done. Ease yourself down now onto the mat, and you want to have the strap handy for some leg stretches that we're going to do in a moment. First of all, bring the legs close to the hips. Push yourself up into a bridge pose as high as you can get. Clasp your hands underneath you and squeeze the shoulder blades together if possible, or else just press the hands down into the mat. Breathe here. And then release your hands and let your spine slowly ease down. Your upper back first, middle back, and finally the lower back. Hug the knees into the chest Rock gently side to side. And then if you let your left leg slowly stretch out along the floor, bring the strap, if you have one, and wrap it around your right foot. And then stretch it up towards the ceiling. Now if you don't have a strap, you can hold onto your leg and just pull this way. So have this heel pushing up towards the ceiling, the toes towards you, lengthen up through the leg. And then hold the strap, or hold your leg, both hands on the strap this time, with your left arm out to the side. You're going to take this leg over to the side. So try not to tip, you have to keep the weight consciously on the left side of the body. Look over towards the left hand here. Enjoy that really nice leg stretch. And bring the leg back up again and change the strap over to the other hand. So from here we can take the leg over to the left this time, as far as it'll go. It might even go all the way to the floor. Just find the place that works for you. Look over towards your right hand in a lovely spinal twist. And take the leg back up again towards the ceiling. Holding the strap again with both hands. Gently pull the leg towards you, pushing up through the heel. And release, hug that leg in towards the chest. And we'll do the other side. So swap over, bringing the strap around your left leg this time, straightening the right leg out along the floor. Push the heel up towards the ceiling, the toes towards you. So again, you could be just holding onto the leg if you don't have a strap. Breathe into it. Then hold the strap with your left hand only, taking the right hand out at shoulder level. Open the leg slowly out to the left as far as is comfortable for you, and look over towards the right hand this time and breathe into it. And bring that leg again back up towards the ceiling. Hold the strap with the other hand now. And then gently take the leg over to the right. So this time the hip can come off the mat and take it over as far as it'll go. It may even come to the floor. Look over towards your left hand. So legs are straight. Enjoy this nice twist. Breathe into it. Slowly take that leg again back up to the center. Hold the strap with both hands, pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. And release, hug that knee into the chest again. And release it. Well done. Now we're going to go into our Shavasana pose. So make yourself very, very comfortable. If you want to put something else on, a little blanket or a jacket, then please do so. And then lie down on the floor, making yourself very, very comfortable. Adjust your shoulders, your legs, whichever way feels right for you. If it feels okay for you, have the palms facing the ceiling. Close your eyes gently and then just rock your head side to side, pressing one ear down towards the mat and the other. Go back and forth a couple of times. And then find a comfortable place to relax your head in. Take a few deep breaths. Let's inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth 3 times. So inhale, exhale, really letting go. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, and 1 more time. Inhale, gather all that tension. Exhale, release it all out. And just let your breathing return to normal. Focusing on the breath, flowing in and out of the body, just like the waves flowing up and down the beach very gently. Feel yourself relaxing more and more with each exhale. then start to bring your attention back to the room. Maybe you want to gently wriggle your fingers and your toes. And then stretch your arms above your head. Stretch the body out nice and long. And gently bend your knees. And gently hug them into your chest. Rock side to side. Allowing your eyes to slowly open and adjust to the light. And then let yourself rock all the way to one side. Stay here a moment. And then very gently bring yourself all the way back up to sitting. Well done, everybody. You've completed day 3. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're ready for day 4 and 5 over the next couple of days. Let me know how you've got on in the comments section below. Do subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss anything. I hope to see you tomorrow. Namaste.